Hello, and welcome to Global Wellness for All podcasts. My name is Laleh Hancock, and I'm going to be your host every week, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Lisbon time, as we do this journey and adventure of wellness in all parts of our lives. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Global Wellness for All podcasts. My name is Laleh Hancock. I'm your host. And today I have a very special friend from visiting Lebanon the last 10 years. Her name is Junaline Bañez-Moussi.
Yes.
So, darling, welcome.
Thank you, Laleh. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
So excited to have you here. You know, our topic is bringing consciousness to the Middle East. And boy, the minute we even said that, my whole body was just full of chills and excitement. Because one, first of all, I was born in the Middle East. I was born in Iran. Yeah. And my family my dad shipped us to France as soon as the revolution started. And I know that I've always had this other view of the Middle East than I think most people in media like to portray. And so there's always been this love and knowing the brilliance that's in the Middle East. And also like looking at ways that, you know, opening the doors to some of that unconsciousness that's also in the Middle East.
Oh, yes.
But before we get started, I want people to know more about you. Can you just give a few minutes of just you, your background, and what brought you to Lebanon?
Love brought me to Lebanon. Yes, so I will start with that. That's what brought me here. So my name is Junaline Bañez-Moussi. I am a life coach, an empowerment coach, and I'm an Access Consciousness certified facilitator, and also facilitating consciousness with entities. Also talk to the entities facilitator, and yes, looking forward to becoming very, very soon a 3-day body class facilitator too.
Oh, yay!
Yes, the first one is happening in Lebanon next month. So how does it get any better than that? It's consciousness with bodies. So I've been, I've been living here for the last 10 years because I married a Lebanese. My coach, actually, he was my mentor. And back in the day, I was in a previous life in this reality, I was a teacher. And when I was transitioning into a different career, I went into coaching and I met my husband through the coaching school. And so, yes, voila, we chose to live here. He's from here, so I chose to live here. And actually my background is in teaching and humanitarian work, which is really good because this is about global wellness. I've always been doing global education. I was a teacher in Japan, and I was doing a lot of work in Asia too for children's education. And so when I moved here, I wanted to continue that kind of community spirit. You know, I was a new expat and living here. I didn't know anyone. So actually I started organizing events and spiritual cafe gatherings, I call them. And this is how I started to get to know the community and also got into the whole wellness and health and holistic healing and stuff like that. So and since then, and along the way, I discovered the tools of access consciousness, using that in order to change people's lives. So we actually started a center here, and we had a center, me and my husband and my sister-in-law, Muna Musi. We started a center, and we taught a lot of access consciousness classes in there. We even hosted our first 3-day body class facilitator, Dr. Casey Chris, back in the day, 2015.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes. So, and I've been, doing that work. I've been, just spreading consciousness, no matter what, up and down, whatever happened to this country, I'm still doing what I'm doing. I think it's commitment to that service. I never acknowledge it, but like I really do care. I care about people. I care about helping others. And so this is what keeps me going, what keeps me inspired and empowered. And I empower people doing all these classes, all these workshops. And no matter what's going on in the country, I don't stop. You know, we've had the revolution in 2019. Wow. And when I chose to be here, you know, many times, many people would always ask, why don't you leave the country? Why don't you choose something else? You know, you're Canadian, you can go there. But there's something about being here, being a contribution to Lebanon. And my husband is very, very positive and thinks that he can outcreate this reality that we're living here. So it's really, really inspiring. There's something about here being a contribution to this land and to this part of the world. I just love it. This part of the world is so sacred. And like, you know, what we see in the news, that the Middle East is this land of turmoil or whatever, you know, that beleaguered energy. Well, there is that, but there's also beauty underneath all of that. There's beauty and there is hope for healing. There's always that change. It's just lurking. You know, chaos needs to happen in order for us to rise up again. Yeah.
You know, it's so interesting because I recently was in Russia. And
yes, I saw that. Yeah.
It was a last minute travel too. I was going to come to the US, see my kids that weren't available. And I was like, where would my body like to go for the holidays? You know, Christmas and New Year's. And just Russia was just so loud. And up until that point, really, Americans were not allowed. Russians weren't letting visitors in except exceptional things and visas that you had to get for medical purposes and stuff like that. Well, to do that, I needed to go to America, but I wasn't in America. So that route did not work for me. And then, you know, that moment when you ask a question and you give yourself permission to receive the awareness. Like I literally got Russia and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Russia. What's required? And I looked into it and realized nothing. I already had a 3-year visa that was still good. I just needed to take a PCR test. That's it. And everything I searched with the US Embassy said, don't go to Russia, do not go. We cannot protect you if you go, blah, blah, blah. And it was all of this fear-based problems. And I asked one question, body, if we go to Russia, what will our life be like in 5 years?
I love it.
And if we don't go, what will my life be like in 5 years? And my goodness, the energy of going was so much more expansive. So one thing I'd like to put out there in this podcast and anyone who's listening now and later, like, what if we stop allowing the fear factors of media and the web? Because now people are making the web be the source of everything.
Yeah.
You know, and give yourself permission to ask your body.
Yep.
Ask and allow those whispers to come to you instead of the fear factor. The fear factor shuts off your consciousness. But when you ask a question, you open it up to where it's not just your mind trying to figure it out, but you allow your surrounding. Like if my body would have said, no, we're not going, it's because my body perceived it's not going to be safe for us to be there, you know?
That's right.
And the same thing with you, you know, I was inspired to actually reach out to you and say, hey, will you come on and chat with me on the podcast? Because there was a lot of stuff going on recently in Lebanon.
Yes.
And you were asking for contribution.
Yeah.
And I was just, you know, asking, I was like, wow, talk about never giving up. You know, that is one of my magical friends that truly never gives up and never stops. So can you speak a little bit more about, like, yes, there's been revolutions, there's been all sorts of fighting, turmoil. COVID didn't help the situation, but how did you choose to change that molecule and actually do it different? Like,
Yeah.
can you share a little bit about maybe a tool or something that inspired you to do it different?
I just chose to outcreate this reality.
Good one.
That's it. Yeah. Really, it's like, like I am not buying it. Like, oh wow. With the whole COVID thing, with the revolution came the economic downfall also, with the money, just the inflation. Wow. In the summer, we didn't have gasoline. We were lining up for hours, for 6 hours to get gasoline, like for the car.
Wow.
There's no electricity, there's no fuel for months.
Yeah.
And we have now, a shortage of electricity. And it was like at one point, I had this maybe like one week of saying, I cannot, this is not ease from my body. This is not ease from my creation. I'm leaving. But then it didn't feel light even to say, I am leaving. It's just one moment. It's like a moment of like frustration. And you're like, no, let's do this. What would it take to outcreate this? And actually, I would tell you the miracle that happened is actually I gave classes during those times. I gave body processes and bars and foundation classes when we had power cuts. We were all sweating and no electricity, but people chose it. And that was like the most beautiful, miraculous thing, because people are looking for change. And so was I, looking for that. It's like, like, fuck this reality. We're not buying it. We can rise beyond it. And that's it. That was just the one choice, one decision, if you may say. It's like one decision. I'm like, no, we're not here. We're not buying this reality. There is something else, something more beautiful that's going to be coming out of this. We cannot see it yet, but there is. Because, it's so easy to commiserate with everybody.
Yep.
Oh my God, the whole country is like that.
Well, I don't think it's just your country, though. Unfortunately, recently, it's like the united forces of the insane wanting to all agree with that it's a problem.
Yes, and what can we, what if a problem is a possibility?
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's say it from a different perspective, because I know different people have experienced different things the last few years, we've all had different things, our childhoods are all different and our adulthood has all been different. But the last 2 years, the global sense has been with COVID, the uncertainties and all of that. Okay. We're not making it right or wrong, good or bad. We're just saying with everything, with every single thought in your head, with every situation in your life, you have choices. One of those choices is to do nothing, the no choice. That's a choice too, okay?
That's right.
But whatever is being confronted here, you can look at it and say, I'm going to let this own me. I'm going to let it take over everything. Or you can also say, okay, this is one of my options. What else is possible?
Yep.
What are these other possibilities I've never considered before? And I got to tell you, Lovely, I was in Portugal when all of this went down. I ended up having to stay for a year. And there were moments, it was so difficult. We were in lockdown in our cities. We couldn't see anybody.
Yeah.
People weren't going out. They were so afraid. They were doing stuff. I was doing a lot of stuff online. But for me, I'm a person of, I like to be with other bodies.
Yeah.
I like people around.
Yes, me too. Yeah.
And there were moments that I got to tell you, personally for me, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? What am I doing here? And then I was like, wait a second. Who does that belong to? Who does that belong to? Because I am not a person who panics. I'm not a person who gives up. But I will not stay in something that you said earlier. It wasn't light. When it's light, it's what's true for you. Yeah. When it's heavy, it's not yours and it doesn't resonate for you. And so, the moments that we go into this spin out, and we are like going into let's follow the crowd syndrome. We have to ask, okay, who does this belong to?
Yeah.
And if I was truly being me, what would I choose?
Yeah. Yeah. If I was truly being me, what would I choose?
Yeah.
What would I choose? Yeah. So this is the question. This is a question that I'd like to invite all of us to keep asking every day, because it's easy to do something that is not really yours. Yeah, like this invitation of that, who does it belong to? Because a lot of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that we think are ours because they're in our head are ours. But when you actually ask the question, oh, no, it's a lie. Yeah. If I had bought that point of view of everybody, of all the collective, I probably would have left.
Yeah.
But we are creating something more than ever. My husband is very creative with this situation. And we are doing something. You know, we're creating. Actually, creation it keeps you alive. Creation, whatever that is, it's movement. If you don't create, you don't move, you're dead.
Yep.
It's asking the question. It's a creation. Asking for the possibilities is a creation. Hey, what else is possible here? What else is possible? Universe, show me. I don't know anything anymore. What else is show me? Show me, please. You know, so. Yeah.
That's it's interesting because one of the tools is to ask, universe, show me something beautiful today.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one that I use every day. And I'll tell you, I think a lot of times people, do podcasts and TV and all of this, and they're like, oh, my life is amazing. And I never get frustrated and everything's great all the time.
Toxic positivity.
Oh my gosh. I'm the first to tell you that is not my life. Yeah. I know though I'm being me when I'm in the world of possibilities, when I'm joyful, when I'm creative, when I'm asking a question, that's me being me.
Yeah.
And I have plenty of those moments where I just, I was telling a friend a couple hours ago, there were moments during COVID, I would just run audio all night long, just to keep myself out of the nonsense of what was around me. And then in the morning, it would take me sometimes 3 hours to get out of bed, 3 hours to talk to my body, talk to the earth, talk to my businesses, and really ask for what is my space, what is my energy, and what's my reality. Because my psychic abilities, my ability to be the SpongeBob that can pick up so many things was on turbo maximum. And so I was picking up everything that was in everybody else's world, their fears, their concerns, and everything else. And I remember just literally saying, okay, I know that this doesn't belong to me because I have asked the question, but now what's required? What can I put in place that allows me to have my space? My space of ease, my space of fun, my space of creativity.
Yes.
And, usually it was the trees, it was the land. And I just had to go outside. I know some people couldn't, but I could. Where I was staying, I had staying in a house and there was trees, or I was in the hotel and there was trees. And I would just put my back against a tree and just
That's your space. That is the space.
Yeah.
Physically too, it's a space, but that is that space. It's really beautiful how when we ask for that space, it shows up. It's just there, actually. Earth is there. Our mother is there all the time.
Yesterday we were on a call with the founder of Access Consciousness. His name is Gary Douglas. And he was saying, so often we think about the earth and we think about the dirt. We think of
soil,
the land and the soil and everything else, and that's the earth. But what if the clouds is the earth?
Of course.
What if the trees is the earth?
Yes.
What if the wood in your house is the earth?
Yep.
What if the metal in your house is like, so it really is like, I think sometimes when we think about the earth, we forget we're surrounded by the earth everywhere we are.
Exactly. We are the earth. We are the
we
world.
Are the earth. We are.
We are the earth. We are the children.
We never told you were going to get singing, but you even get some singing on the podcast.
No, that's just a jingle, okay? All right. Okay, so no, we are the earth.
But what does bring you that joy, that laughter, that moment to get out of that insanity and have your space again? You know, so I want to ask you that. What are 3 to 5 things that you know are in your toolbox that you say, okay, I have all this insanity going on around me. Now my space.
Laughter.
What do you choose? Yeah.
Being crazy, like making fun of everything, actually it's like making things insignificant, you know. I'll dance, you know, things like this. It's one of the things that I love doing or being is to laugh. Actually, I love laughing. People say that about me. I laugh all the time. I just kind of make, you know, I just made this little singing jingle thing, but you know, it's like you break a pattern of something. By laughter is the best medicine. I believe it. Laughter heals the earth. That's it.
Do you know that laughter massages your organs?
Goodness,
Did you know
my
that?
God. Okay, there you go. It's true. I feel it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All of that, internal organs, isn't it? It's great. It's a good workout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, laughter. It helps your energy field. I mean, it just, laughter is you being you. You know what I mean? Like our joy, whatever that joy is. Sometimes laughter is not joy because, you know, you can have joy without laughter. But like the higher frequencies of energy are actually when you're being you.
Yeah.
And then those moments of difficulty, pain, suffering, and all those are the things that we picked up along the way. That wasn't part of you when you were born. You picked it up. So it's there, but you don't have to make it your reality today.
Yeah. So that is like my 5 main tools in my toolbox is laughter. And asking questions. Really, you know, this, I cannot, you know, what do you call this? Anyway, I forgot my English. But I'm just talking energy now. So like one of my favorite things is actually asking the question, what else is possible today? What else is possible today? Really, if I knew not this, what else could be possible? Because everywhere I've decided something, no, what else is possible? What else is possible? Truly, without the conclusion, without the answer. Okay, so that makes me curious, that makes me excited because, you know, you don't know yet, even though you know. So this is one of the things. It's actually asking the questions. It's really asking the question and choosing just to outcreate the insanity, not buying into the lies of this reality. We can always choose that too every day because there's so many of that going on. We can just choose that, even like a small choice of just, okay, no, no, or yes, or no, I'm not going there.
Yeah, it's amazing. We make it be like it has to be this whole complex thing when it comes to actually being the simple things, you know.
Yes. What else is possible?
Yeah. Well, darling, it's been such a pleasure to have you here. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for what you're creating because I know it's not just in Lebanon. You are all over the place. You're all over the world, even though your body might be in one location currently. But thank you for you, truly. So can you let our listeners know, like, how can they get a hold of you, what you have coming up? Is there something that they can jump into and things of that sort?
Yes, so you can get a hold of me on social media. I'm there every time on Facebook, Life Inspired with Junaline. I'm on Instagram at Life Inspired Junaline also. My website, www.junaline.com. It's just my name. It's like Beyonce and Madonna, just one name moniker. My last names are too much. I have two names, so make it simple, right? And also, I do have some creations coming up. An Access Consciousness Foundation coming up live in Beirut and online at the end of the month, February 27th, something like this. It's on my website too. And also a 3-day body class, an Access Consciousness 3-day body class coming up on March, on the day of Global Foundation, actually.
Oh, wow.
But it's daytime here. It's nighttime there, so I can catch it. Yeah. So
Wonderful.
These are my coming up creations, and other things, talk to the entities coming up in April too. So, but everything will be just in social or website. So yeah, you can find me there everywhere.
Well, it'll also be in our show notes. So you have them there available if you need them. So how does it get even better than that?
How does it get any better? Thank you so much, Laleh. Love it.
Oh, thank you. Beautiful. And I'm so grateful for you. And I'm so grateful for everyone, for you guys listening to this. And please contribute to spreading it. Who do you know that can also benefit from receiving these podcasts and really spreading this? Because all of us have the ability to receive from the energy of things and just inspiration to just kickstart that day for us. So thank you again for being here and all that you're gifting and truly contributing to the world. And what else is possible we haven't yet considered. Till next time. Bye, everyone. Thank you for being here with us, whether you were listening or watching. We are so grateful for you, and we need your help. We would love to spread the seeds of wellness all around the world. Will you assist us? You can subscribe below. You can subscribe in Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. We are everywhere. And we ask, would you be willing to actually spread this to others that you may know who can actually be contributed with the tools and resources to bring more wellness into their life and into their bodies?